This small island nation is the second smallest country in Asia. So small that you can drive for just 1 hour and cross the entire island. Don't be fooled by its small size. With scarce natural resources, it is still the richest country in Asia, and also one of the richest in the world. Its per capita income surpasses even the US and Germany, as well as developed countries like France and Japan. In this country, for every 6 people, there is 1 person who owns assets worth at least $1 million. Over 80% of the population lives in government-subsidized housing. Its citizens have the highest level of education and enjoy world-class healthcare services. Their students' test scores rank among the best in the world. It boasts the best infrastructure globally and leads in high-tech manufacturing. It is also the financial and logistics hub of all Southeast Asia. It has the world's second-largest port, Maersk. It ranks second in the world for ease of doing business, and third globally in attracting foreign direct investment. Hello everyone. Thank you for watching today's program. I am your friend Dee. Today I will take you to explore a little about the third richest country in the world, Christmas Island, Singapore, located in Southeast Asia, between southern Malaysia and northern Indonesia. It is an island nation. This country consists of 63 separate islands, with a population of about 5.9 million. Its territory covers 728.6 square kilometers, roughly the size of Erchau City in Shandong Province. Singapore stretches 50 kilometers east to west, and 27 kilometers north to south, with a coastline of 193 kilometers. Singapore's modern history began in 1819, when the British established a free port on the island. Under British colonial rule, Singapore's importance as a trading hub became increasingly clear. During World War II, Singapore was occupied by Japan, until Japan's defeat in 1945. In 1959, Singapore became a self-governing state under British rule. In August 1963, Singapore declared independence from British rule. In 1965, Sabah and Sarawak of Malaysia joined the Federation of Malaysia. But because Malaysia and the ideological conflict between Malaysia and Singapore left the Federation in 1965, and officially became independent on August 9 of the same year. For more than 30 years, Singapore, along with Hong Kong, South Korea, and Taiwan, achieved almost uninterrupted economic growth, becoming known as one of the 4 Asian tigers. Although Singapore is one of the smallest city-states in the world, its economic prosperity ranks among the countries with the highest per capita income in the world, with a GDP per capita of $84,700 United States dollars. So then, how did this small island become so wealthy? Singapore has no resources like coal or oil, but its greatest global advantage is its strategic location at the tip of the Strait of Malacca. This prime geographical location, the Strait of Malacca, is one of the busiest shipping routes in the world. Because of this advantageous position, oil tankers pass through this area. Thus, Singapore has the world's largest refueling port, and at Singapore's free port, only minimal customs and protection fees are charged. There are no foreign exchange controls or domestic price controls. Furthermore, in Singapore, for private business and investment, there is almost no regulation, no antitrust laws. For foreign investors or local private investors, no approvals or licenses are required. There are no restrictions on repatriating profits or returning capital. Therefore, free trade and free capital flow are considered the foundation of Singapore's economic success. However, geography is not everything. Unlike some neighboring countries that sought to break from colonial history, Singapore maintained close ties with Britain. Even after gaining independence in 1965, this decision declared to the world that Singapore had opened up to trade. This was very important, because we know exports drive economic growth and expansion. More importantly, strong government intervention. The Singaporean government attracted foreign investment through tax incentives. This policy aimed to attract foreign capital, promoting economic development, reducing the unemployment rate. The corporate tax rate in Singapore is only 17%. The government also invested heavily in infrastructure projects and built large modern industrial parks. Given Singapore's relatively small domestic market size, the government implemented many policies to stimulate economic growth again. Moreover, with Singapore's existing port, its strategic geographical location, and favorable pro-business policies, labor-intensive and low-skilled industries began to flow in. At the beginning of the century, service sectors like finance and insurance became increasingly liberalized. Many multinational corporations started setting up regional headquarters in Singapore. This attracted even bigger participants, enhancing Singapore's appeal to businesses, thereby boosting its GDP, transitioning from a developing to a developed economy. Today, Singapore is ranked as one of the easiest places in the world to do business. To retain businesses and capital, the Singaporean government realized It needed to become a more attractive place of residence. Singapore has a strategic location, but it also needed to become a tourist destination. This was the key to Singapore's success. Singapore began in the 1970s, an ambitious land reclamation project. Over the years, reclaimed land was used not only for offices and apartments, but also for entertainment centers, changing the city's skyline. One example is the introduction of nighttime F1 events and opening of casinos. Because at that time, China and India were experiencing rapid economic growth, Singapore's favorable location could attract wealthy elites in the region. They could enjoy casinos and nightlife, and also deposit their money. As a result, total assets under management in Singapore, from the initial level of 420 billion United States dollars, soared to 40 trillion United States dollars by 2023, becoming the world's second largest wealth management hub. As the economy prospered, even better, the government also imposed strict measures to eliminate corruption. These measures included the death penalty for those suspected of corruption, providing the highest salaries in the world for government officials, to help reduce the temptation for corruption from the start. This measure has made Singapore one of the least corrupt countries in the world. This has significantly improved policy implementation efficiency, strengthening investor confidence, continuing to drive economic growth, reducing wasteful spending. By the 1980s, Singapore had expanded into petrochemicals, pharmaceuticals and advanced computer components, shipbuilding, chemical production, and more. In fact, despite lacking natural resources, it became the world's third largest oil refining nation and oil producer. And at this time, many Asian countries then were experiencing strong economic growth. Thus, Singapore became a destination for foreign investment, a logistics and financial hub, along with strong financial policies, turned Singapore into the world's fourth largest financial center. By the 1990s, the government began limited privatization of its most profitable enterprises, carrying out partial privatization, offering preferential interest rates for Singaporeans to buy shares. These companies helped achieve economic diversification and filled gaps in the market. Revenue generated was also deposited into the Sovereign Wealth Fund, which was then used to further fund healthcare, infrastructure and education. By the late 20th century, Singapore's per capita income had surpassed most Asian countries, and even exceeded the United Kingdom. A distinctive feature of Singapore's economic model is that the government controls or oversees land, labor resources, capital, and their allocation. In this way, the Singaporean government focuses on social welfare in the three most important aspects: housing, healthcare, and education. Most notably, since the 1980s, the Housing Development Board has provided housing for about 85% of the population. It has offered housing construction and maintenance of public housing that most residents own. Affordable housing helped maintain low wages, thereby integrating industrial factories into residential areas, providing an easily accessible labor force for factories. Investment in public healthcare and education has enhanced labor productivity and skills. Today, Singapore is one of the wealthiest and most modern economies in the world, and also one of the most competitive economies. It has also become an attractive tourist destination. The climate here is pleasant, rich cultural heritage, and modern city features attract visitors from all over the world. Domestic friends who want to travel to Singapore don't need to worry about language barriers, because Singapore's second language is Chinese. The Chinese population here accounts for 70%. There are many must-visit places in Singapore, bringing forests and waterfalls indoors. Named the world's most beautiful Changi Airport, a fantastic resort theme park, an island with beaches and bars, Sentosa Island, Southeast Asia's first Hollywood-themed amusement park, Universal Studios, Merlion Park, the architectural icon of Singapore, AAAAN. There are also some of the most famous nightlife spots in Singapore, Clarke Quay, and the largest Ferris wheel in Asia, Singapore Flyer. For shopping lovers, you can also visit Orchard Road in Singapore, where you can shop for many major international brands. If you plan a trip to Singapore, don't miss these destinations. Thank you for watching today's video. If you enjoyed my content, don't forget to give me a like and subscribe. See you again in the next video.